In the previous episode, we finally put the blaze cakes to work in our brand new steam power plant, which we built in this brand new building nestled right here in the back in this corner. But while we were building this really cool looking building, we had to crawl through some spaghetti tunnels, fly up and down from the storage in the bridge to the remainder of the storage in this area. All that while experiencing lag because our storage systems are overflowing. So instead of us tackling a bunch of brand new projects, doing new things, building pretty builds, we need to get ourselves a checklist and work through some of the problems we are experiencing today. So yeah, big maintenance time. Hello everybody, I'm DSL and welcome back to another episode here in our end-only series, where, as you just heard, we need to do some major maintenance work. And the first thing we're going to do is this little mob farm. We're just going to do a little temporary fix while we work on the rest, because I upgraded the bones because we're going to need a whole lot of bones for some block production, and currently we are losing more of the items than we are saving in the farm, because as you can see, things are just going all over the place. I mean, my inventory is already full, and that's not what we need. And I even already came in here and sorted through some of the stuff. So our biggest problem currently, sorting out our inventory. And another one I'm noticing are all of these eggs. They're supposed to go into a chest or into the storage system, and the storage system already has overflow in place, but that's clearly not working. So what we're going to do first is we're going to increase this little storage we've got over here. I know it's not ideal, but like mentioned, it's just a temporary little fix so we can get these items picked up and just stored away while we work on our little solution. And the solution, well, basically we are going to grind most of the things up. The things that don't become anything, well, they'll just get lost, but the things that do become something, we can then feed into our storage system. And what I mean by that is stuff like leather armor will become leather, and stuff like golden armor will become ingots, and so forth and so on. So that is the general idea. Like mentioned, it's not the ideal solution, but currently it is a solution, which is more than what we have going for us at the moment. So I am going to do that. So this is now going to slowly filter through. I think it's going to take quite a while though. Yeah, it's slowly making its way in, so it's going to take some time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly help it along, and when we get back, I should have some more items in my inventory that will help us build the solution, which I'm hoping will not be too difficult to achieve. Okay, so the first thing I came to check was the egg storage, and we do have void upgrades on each and every one of these, as well as a single upgrade. So we shouldn't be getting any form of eggs in that system. So the second thing I came to do was check over here, and you can see that this storage system is not connected to the storage system over there. So that's the first thing we're gonna have to fix, and I do believe the easiest way will be to go in over here behind the totally ethical chicken farm and connect this storage up to the storage of the mob farm, because this storage over here, or these, that's already connected to the main one. So we're gonna go down here. There's this line, and if we just hop into free cam, we'll see that there's our drawers, and oh, that's pretty loud, and there is the drawer slave we need to connect into. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to dig a hole, I'm going to get to that, and then we'll connect the system up. Okay, and like you can see, it's a relatively straight line. So over here we'll just come down with our drawer trims, whoop, not over there, and we'll run them to this side, and this should solve our very first big problem, which is all the unnecessary eggs that we get in the system. Oh, and over here you can see the second problem at work, and that's the really bad spaghetti we've got going. So now we should only have items like leather and those type of things go into that system, because you can see automatically the eggs get picked up as well. So that is one problem solved, which is not really one on here because I've got it as mob overflow. So I would say sort mob eggs mob overflow error. So that was that problem, so we're done with that. Now the next one we need to do is just sort the general mob farm overflow. So I think the second mob farm related problem will be this belt. We currently have it running into these belts, and even though that's fine for now, we need to, well, get rid of a bunch of these things. So we're going to have to crush them down. So I do think we need to mine out and get behind this system so we can just see what we have to work with. But if we do this, we can generally have this belt continue onto like a little system that crushes the items down, and then the crush items will go into a drawer slave that will head back into these trims that will just connect it all into the sorting system, or yeah, our storage system, not the sorting system, our storage system. I do, however, think that we might have to, right underneath the crushing wheels, do maybe a chest or two, just to make sure that if there's something that does not belong in the system, it will first end up in the threshold chests before it ends up despawning or clogging the system again. So that way we're sure we look at everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly clean out a little bit of working space, and then we can build a little crushing / overflow surplus threshold, that's the word, system. Okay, so I've got a few blocks in hand, and the first thing we're going to do is, we know the belt runs over there. So from the belt, what I want to do is I want to add a vault system. So this will be our first primary buffer, so we ensure that we can take quite a few items into the vault before it gets into the crushing wheel system. And then what I'm thinking right now is we might actually turn it this way around, and then what we can do then is from here we can have our chutes on that level, and the chutes will be feeding into our crushing wheels, and our crushing wheels will be sitting on this position. So that is relatively easy. So we'll have chute, crushing wheels, and then if we come down here we'll have another chute over here before it enters into another little vault system, and from this vault system we'll make sure that we input everything into this framed trim storage, or into this frame trim that will connect to the storage. Okay, and this is the system. We've got the first buffer up there, we've got the crushing wheels, we've got all the chutes taking the items out and putting them into the crushing wheels, and from there out into the second item vault, and then this goes into this storage drawer system. I am tempted to rip out this first, and maybe even this, and let's just stress test the singular one. But the only thing we need to do now is hook up the power, and well, I mean, we've all seen the hooking up of power to crushing wheels, so I'm just going to do that real quick, and then when that's done we'll just connect the output of the farm to this contraption. Okay, so we have it all turning, we have it all spinning, and it's time for us just to literally connect up the system, or well, this belt to that system. You can see that chest is already full, so maybe we can just do something like this temporarily. No, apparently not. And then we can just go around this way, and the first thing I want to do is I just want to grab some industrial iron blocks, because we just need to encase those two. I did do that one as well, and then we can do our little chute on there, or funnel on there, and we can rip out this one. So the items are going into the vault. The question is, are they getting dealt with? I think we'll only know if we rip out that. Yeah, see, there we have string. So we know the system's working, so a bunch of the stuff will get crushed down and turned into nothing, but a bunch of the other stuff will get used in the end. So it's not going to be the most efficient system, but at least we're getting rid of the the blockage and all of those type of things. So that, I would call that a great success, and I think we can actually, well, kind of tick it off the system. So I'm going to say a mob overflow sorted, and while you guys enjoy the fact that we solved this problem, I'm quickly going to solve this little chest problem, so it's all out of the way. So over here we can see now that all the mobs are dying and getting killed instantly, and that's mainly because we don't have items clogging this area anymore. You can see them all going through, and we've cleaned it up quite a lot. So we removed all of the chests, and I added this little platform going all the way over there. We've added a secondary platform that goes down over here, and then we can go up here if we need to modify these. And I try to use the smooth stone brick all over, so whenever we dig and we see this, we know we're in an important area. Then this area over here, well, this area also needs to get done, and that brings us to the next one on our list, and that is fixing behind the scenes areas, because we've got this one all fixed up, but all throughout this world we have tunnels that we use for like the storage drawers or for power or things like that, and they're all over the place, and sometimes moving through them does prove very, very difficult. So the next idea is to clean up another one or two of these tunnels. I won't be able to do all of them in one episode, but just make it a little bit more, I almost want to say, user friendly, because we don't want to go around bumping our heads. And the reason why I did that part over there is because we're going to have to fill in the floor over here. We've got a nice 3 high gap, and then this we can just go ahead and add some more stairs like so, and that way we can always navigate up and down these areas without a really big hassle. And I don't mind the walls not being different or not being fixed or stuff like that. It's just so we know where we are, where we can go, and well, just move more freely, because that's the one big problem, is whenever we move we bump our head. This is another prime example. If we hop on over here, we need to fix the walls, because currently this is just open and this is part of our crop farm. So there's a bunch of these things that fall under that category, and I don't think I'll be able to do them all in a recording. This one I think just loops around, so we might keep this just as an extra tunnel, but we're not going to fix this up because we might end up just ripping it apart and making it, well, part of something else. But anyway, so what I need to do now is place a whole bunch of smooth stone blocks, but before we can do that we need to dig up a whole bunch of, well, other blocks. Okay, so a lot has happened. I just showed a little bit of a time lapse of me clearing out some blocks, placing some blocks, but we've done a lot. So this plot part's been done. If we run on down here, we finished all of this. We can run up this way, and this area is sorted. That's the area that goes over there. Like mentioned, that we're not going to do for now. But then if we head on over this way, we can run all the way this way on our little smooth road, up a little staircase, down on the other side, and we're in this area, which is the tree farm, which is actually the stripping part of the tree farm. And then this runs all the way to that side. We just opened it up because there was power running. There's actually nothing down there. And then if we head on this way, this is the area where in the intro I said I had to duck and dive to get through things, but now we've got like a little walkway. It's still a little wonky, but nonetheless we've got all of that in. We also can see all the way down there, and then we've got this little area which goes up. Right behind this is the power plant, and then also we cleaned up this little area and did a little staircase that takes us out over there, which just makes all of this look so much neater. Going up here, that leads all the way to the windmill that goes into the dirt farm. But just to show you guys, here we are in the windmill, and if we go through this way, we've got a little smooth path. We took all of this out. We made it so that we can run underneath this, and over here we go up and we're right to the side, and we went full circle. We're back at the mob farm. So I think what we need to do is just get out of here because it's noisy in here. But I want to go into free cam and just see what a difference it makes, and just give you guys an idea of what we want to do in regards to all of the pathways. So if we hop on into free cam, so that's all these areas. So we did end up ripping out a lot. We've got so much blocks in our inventory, but we've got all of these little clean and neat little pathways. Oh yeah, this one goes back to the underside of this, and we've got so much blocks lying around. But that's the general idea. So if we need to add storage trims to the system, we can easily run it along the floor or along the path. So this area needs to get cleaned up some more. And then if we go down here, there's quite a bunch of them down here that I also want to make better, I guess, and more easy accessible and easier to move in and easier to tap power and stuff from. So that's the idea for everything, but I do believe that the little bit we did now made a big difference, and it took a while. It really took quite a while to do that. Oh, I love seeing the skeletons fall. So yeah, that's another thing that I think we can tick off for now, because I do think we did quite a lot. I will add it to the to-do list for the future project, but for now, I do think that's done, and we can head on to the next one, which is something simple. It's just basically elevator buttons. So elevator buttons basically refers to me being able to call the elevator, and well, it's relatively simple. We're gonna have to do dirt over there, elevator pulley over there, and a button, nope, and a button underneath that, and if we push that, there we go. We should have been able to call the elevator. What was that all about? Oh, do we need to make that the same as that? Okay, we need to change it. So again, so this one, elevator pulley, route to dirt, button. Does this one work? Okay, so this one works, so we just need to go up one. Okay, so we're gonna have to take the alternative, which is our elytra up. Okay, we're up here. Let's just empty this hand real quick, and we just need to change it to this, I guess. There we go. Okay, so we've got a button on this level. We have a button on this level. The button on this level, they're located over there. The shadow stacks, we've got a button right over there. And in this level, we should have a button right there. Okay, cool. Well, that was a pretty easy one. So if we do that, we've got elevator levels and buttons all sorted, which brings us to our very last item, the storage room. I don't know. Like, to be honest, I don't know. I don't like doing storage rooms because I can never decide how to do it. So what I do think we need to do is, for now, just maybe move all of these up, I think. Yeah, we've got how many left? It's not that many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I think we're going to do it. We're going to do those 5, and I do remember I did add those to a barrel in the storage room, so we can literally connect them up, and then once they're in and we're happy, I nearly said happy, but once they're in and we're happy, we can actually just move those barrels, because yeah, they are. We need to decide where these go. So over here we've got all of these blocks. These are the gray blocks and the dark blocks we use the most, and I do think we're gonna rip the blackstone out. It doesn't have a No, it doesn't, because we don't produce this block, we just mine it all the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that out, and we're going to put blackstone right over there, and I'm going to leave that on there for now, because maybe we produce it in the future, I doubt, but we're going to do blackstone over there. Then we need to look at these blocks. These are the next ones on our list, and I almost want to not add these over here, because we still need to do andesite and all of those things, and granite. Let's add them. We'll have sand and red sand. Then we'll have sand, red sand, clay and clay balls. Then we do maybe netherrack down there. And then we can have granite, diorite, limestone. Yeah, that should be it. That should be the blocks. Now all we need to do is rush down, get their threshold switch recipes or codes and stuff, and get those plugged in, because otherwise they're just going to continue producing until, well, those drawers are full, which shouldn't be too long. So let's just make sure. I do think it's just always 2 of each. Yeah, it's just literally 2 of each, and we set them all to 9580. Okay, I'm gonna rip these out. I'm gonna go switch the switches, and then I'll bring you guys right back. Okay, so the last of these storage drawers are gone and moved to the storage room, thus finishing the storage room is also checked off of our list, which makes me kind of feel really happy because we've done so much already in regards to storage rooms. This area we need to renovate, but we can't renovate that until we fix the tough factory, and the tough factory we can't fix not until we automate diorite, which is going to happen in the near future. But apart from that, everything is really coming together quite nicely, and I'm pretty happy with that. I do just want to show you guys real quick that if we run on down here and we go into our storage room, we currently have this little setup just in a way. This is just us transferring items from here into the storage room or that storage drawer. Now we can see this one is done, which means we can actually take this one off of the system like so, and that's another one done. So now we just need to wait for these three. This one is sand, still 64,000 in there, which will slowly happen over time. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with where we are in regards to the storage system. We do have a bunch of bags still with a bunch of random blocks over, which I will just put into the system, as well as the workshop has some odd items which I'll just move up and put them maybe into drawers, maybe just into a barrel or something, but it's mainly stuff like a saddle, a disc and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the whole storage room, and as soon as this is sorted into the system and out of the way, it's gonna look so cool. But yeah, I do think that we need to head on over to population counter because this video has gone on for quite a bit, and we need to see if we've gotten any new citizens in the city. We currently have 10,407 subscribers. That means that the city's population has grown with a total of 40 new citizens. Do you want to become part of the citizen counter? Then do smash that subscribe button if you haven't done so yet, and let's build the city to our next big goal. Can you believe it? 10,407 subscribers. That's amazing. The city's growing and everything's coming together quite nice, and I really do think that even though today's episode was not a lot of create and not a lot of building, we did do a lot of important things to improve the city and to make future projects just so much easier. So if you like this episode, do remember to smash that like button, and down in the comments let me know if you could build anything in this world, what would you like to add? What do you want to add to this city? I'm quite curious to see what everybody thinks of the city and what they want to add to the city. But till next time, take care. Bye for now.